we come to the 4 autonomous boards. They are undergraduate and postgraduate medical education board, the medical assessment and rating board for inspection and rating of medical institutions, and ethics and medical legislation board. Each autonomous board will have president and 4 other members. 2 will be full-time and 2 will be part-time members. Now let us see what are the functions of these autonomous boards. The undergraduate and postgraduate medical education boards are covered under section 24 and section 25 respectively. They have the same functions, but they relate to undergraduate and postgraduate respectively. So what do? They will frame standards for medical education in undergraduate and in postgraduate and super specialty qualifications. They will develop competency-based dynamic curriculum, which is in sync with the demand of the country, which is in sync with the needs of the community. So they will also frame guidelines for setting up of medical institutions for imparting undergraduate and postgraduate courses. They will determine the minimum requirements and standards for conducting courses and examinations in medical institutions. So these undergraduate and postgraduate medical education board, their primary role is to settle the curriculum of undergraduate and postgraduate studies. They lay down standards for medical education. They will frame guidelines for setting up institutions in various parts of the country so that they are able to meet the minimum requirements and standards for conducting of courses. So they will also lay down standards and norms for infrastructure, faculty and quality of education in medical institutions, which provide both undergraduate for UG by UGME and postgraduate by PGME board. So they will lay down what are the standards and norms, what infrastructure required, what faculty required for how many seats. All these standards will be laid down by these boards. They will facilitate development and training of faculty members teaching undergraduate courses. So all those who are going to teach undergraduate and postgraduate courses, they will have to undergo certain training programs and development programs pertaining to the teaching caliber and teaching competencies. They will also facilitate research and the international student and faculty exchange programs. So they are also saying that we should open up globally and we should have faculty and student exchange program both at the national level as well as the international level to promote research and to adopt best practices. And this board will also grant recognition to all the undergraduate and postgraduate qualifications that are to be carried out. Now let us come to the medical assessment and rating board. So once the standards for education, examination, infrastructure and faculty have been laid down by the undergraduate and postgraduate board, then those standards are required to be implemented by the institutions, and medical assessment and rating board will determine the process of assessing and rating the medical institutions for their compliance with the standards which have been laid down by the undergraduate medical education and postgraduate medical education board. They will grant permission for establishment of a new medical institution or to start any postgraduate course or to increase number of seats. But the guidelines and standards that will be followed for rating and assessment by this board will be purely based upon the guidelines provided by the undergraduate medical education and postgraduate medical education board. They are also entrusted with the task of carrying out inspections of medical institutions for assessing and rating such institutions. They can either conduct the assessment themselves or empanel independent rating agencies to conduct, assess and rate all medical institutions within such period of their opening and every year thereafter. And they can make available on its website the assessment and ratings of medical institutions at regular intervals. So on the website, you will know which are the institutions that are empaneled, that are recognized for undergraduate and postgraduate, and what is their rating. So this is a new thing that is going to be introduced, that what is their rating as per the National Medical Commission based upon the information provided by Medical Assessment and Rating Board. Where do they stand in the country? And that rating is important to help all the potential students to choose which university they should choose if they get the required merit in the NEET examination. They are also empowered to take such measures, including issuing warning or imposition of monetary penalty or reducing intake or stopping admissions, and recommending to the Commission for withdrawal of recognition against a medical institution for failure to maintain the minimum essential standards as has been specified by the undergraduate and or the postgraduate medical education board. So they not only will carry out assessment, they not only carry out rating, but they can also recommend punitive measures against those who do not comply with the standard, and these measures can be for issuing warning or imposing monetary penalty or reducing the number of seats or stopping admissions or finally withdrawing recognition. So these are the stages through which a medical institution can go through if it does not comply with the minimum essential standards. Then is the last board, which is the Ethics and Medical Registration Board, which is covered under section 27. This will maintain national register of all licensed medical practitioners in the country. This will regulate professional conduct and promote medical ethics. It will develop mechanisms to have continuous interaction with state medical councils to effectively promote and regulate the conduct of medical practitioners and professionals, and exercise appellate jurisdiction with respect to the actions taken by state medical council. So this is very simple. It will ensure that the medicine is practiced in an ethical manner. The medical professionals and practitioners, they practice medicine with laid down code of medical ethics. They will also maintain registers of all licensed medical practitioners, and in case the state medical council actually provides some provision for punishment to the doctors who are not indulging in ethical conduct, or there is some problem relating to the registration, the doctors or the institution can appeal to the Ethics and Medical Registration Board in all aspects pertaining to the ethical conduct and medical registration. So anybody who is aggrieved by the decision of state medical councils can appeal to Ethics and Medical Registration Board on all matters containing ethical conduct, medical negligence, and maintaining of registers.